Alright, in this video I'm going to go over how I define an entry for a crude oil trade using the footprint chart in combination with the regular 8-range chart. And I also look at 2 or 3 other charts too, but basically just the 8-range chart to enter using support and resistance levels as trade location. When it gets into a support or resistance level, I start looking for a trade location there. Once it gets in the trade location department, the price moves into that area, then I start looking for this confirmation to get in the trade. There is a disclaimer at the beginning of the video. There's this disclaimer. I'd like for you to read them both. This is educational purposes only. If you see me make a trade, assume it's a SIMS trade. And I'm only going, like again, only going over 1 or 2 aspects of trading here. There's money management also to be considered, trade management to be considered, trade location, a whole host of other things. I'm just going to go over the confirmation of how I look to get in using order flow in this video. Alright, I got one here already, and the blue box, when it was testing this low day right here, tested it by 3 ticks. So it come down, and it was price was moving down. You can look over here at this other chart where it had moved down, and with the one here at 143.31, it made a double bottom after I said this. But anyway, you got that long wick right there telling me that sellers failed and buyers took control of the situation, and you can see it in this box here in the footprint. Now after this box moved up 3 ticks above, after I get this blue line, right, this blue box right here, I like to see it, and I prefer to see it in the lower portion of the, I'd like to see it below the low day. I'd like to see in the blue border there. That's the most volume, all the volume, not just the bid and the ask, but I want to see that down here in the lower portion. So this was not the best signal in the world. I needed that blue box a lot lower in there, but I did see the buyers take control, and in combination with the long wick over here, that's would have been why you'd went long on that trade right there. After I'm in, I have a 20 tick stop that I pull in within 3 ticks of the swing low just made, so it come into 31, so 34 would have been the stop, would have been placed at 34. Alright, and it went up here, and we did get another box right where we go. You see the blue outline of the box right there. Now this only went 2 ticks below, and it wasn't at a critical level either, so it disqualified in 2 different areas on that one. This one here, give me the blue box again in the top 1/3 of the box, and it did move down more than 3 ticks. So you could, move your stop to break even or whatever at that point if you're quick enough, right there on that, cause of that signal right there. But again, it wasn't really at a critical level on that situation. All right, it came back down. Give me a blue box again, about in the same area that it gave me before. It was a little bit high in the box. I didn't really like it, and this happened extremely quickly. When this jumped down and hit that, it jumped up and it was up to, with 2 bars before you even hardly get involved in it. So sometimes it does happen quick, but it hit the yellow day, give a double bottom. I got an engulfing candle where the green candle completely covered the red candle, telling me that sellers failed, buyers took control, and it went right back up again. So the best case scenario would have been, or worst case scenario, and this thing did jump, so there wasn't really no chance to get into it. It was plumb up in here. If after it jumped that far, it jumped too far for me. You know, it was just too fast. I like to be in no later than the last price level, 104.48, and I even like to be in a little better than that. But that's the worst case scenario. Once the price keeps moving and jumps ahead of me, it moves too far from my stop. I won't risk more than 20 ticks. So that's the end of that. I wouldn't have took the trade because it just jumped too fast on that. Now let's back up and look at this trade here that took place at 8:42 on the footprint. I have it circled here. Now the red triangle's down, as you can see it on both charts here, and I got this red squiggly line here is red and it's green on this chart. I should have them both color coded the same, but haven't changed them. That's the 13 EMA off the 21 range chart that I have plotted on this chart, because I know the crude oil will hold up at that line most of the time. So I have it plotted on all my charts, and I get that from the schooltrade.com. That's their indicator. And they may sell it off the internet somewhere or somebody else. I don't know, but that's where I get it from. All right, I got the blue box again, but again, it was right up. Now I didn't mind it so much. I got one first, prior low a day. These red triangles down. That's yesterday's low a day. It's went up and hit it. there was some stops right above it. Stop orders, buy stop orders. That was, if you short the market, you'd put a buy order in here to protect yourself, and they got hit right there. It moved up 2 or 3 more ticks and hit some more stop orders and stuff. I would have preferred to see the blue box up here around 104.84 in the last 3 ticks of the box. Nevertheless, I got a long wick with an engulfing candle again. So the red candle engulfed the green candle beside it. So a short would have been no later than you'd wanted to wait till this box started to form, and you wanted to see the sellers coming in, and you wanted at least 3 ticks. 1, 2, 3. So you'd have been in somewhere around 104.74 is where you should have got in. If it pulled back a little bit and I missed it, I'd take it over here, as long as it stayed inside this box and I didn't see a lot of aggressive buying coming into the market after the fact. And after it moved, I missed it. If I'd have missed it here and it pulled back up inside this range right here where I can get my stop in good, I would take it short here, given that the buyers didn't come back in. And you'll see this on this visual graph here, and you can also see it in the numbers here, building and stuff as the box is being made, and the amount of volumes. The next one down is these 2 horizontal rows right here, or rows. All right, so let's move back to the next one. Let's see, we could have one coming up right here. Let's see if we have a sell and we can actually take a trade during the video. Maybe no, not right at the moment. So I don't like it, so we're going to skip it. All right, let's see, this one occurred at 8:41. That's the one I just did, wasn't it? Yes. All right, let's look around. I got an engulfing candle at 8:13, so let's back up to 8:13 this morning. 8:17. Oh, okay, there's a double bottom there. Let's see what the circumstances was, and I believe I took this trade. Alright, we was pushing the lower day again right here, as you can see on the 8 range chart. That's why I didn't take it at on the engulfing here. I didn't get anything. I didn't get enough red coming in here. I didn't get the blue box. It wasn't even dark enough red or anything. Had more green in this thick here
buyers on the
at
market.
The bottom. I want to see red. I want to see those stops getting clobbered. I want to see some people getting damage done and then no follow through. I want to see buyers come in after I get the stops, the red. So right here on this one here, in this row right here, this column up and down, in the bottom row I got the blue box outlining it, tell me that's where the most volume was. So some stops were hit there and so forth. Then I didn't see no more follow through. The buyers started to come back in. I'd have waited for 3 ticks to went by here to see it's above the previous box, above the previous 8 range column. And when I seen the buyers coming in strong here, I'd have been in somewhere between 104.46 and 104.48 on this one. And I believe it went on up and it went on up there. Now let's see if there was another one earlier this morning. Let's see about 7:48 if I was in. $7.19. There was one right there. I got a dotted line around it. I got a green box right here, and then it moved on up, and it with sellers, and I just didn't like the looks of it. That's why I dotted that one. And let's see, right here's one. All right, this one was pretty good right here. Might not have worked out, but it looked pretty good. I had a lot of buying coming in, and I had the aggressive blue box right there where the stop outs was, and there was no follow through to any extent after that. And the sellers came back in. Again, I'd have waited for at least 3 ticks to see how strong the selling was, and it was very strong in this box. Would have been in no later than 104.86. Now let's see if this worked out. Okay, yes it did. Okay. And there was another opportunity right here, though this one was less. I didn't like this one as much. I prefer the swing high, and this was a swing below the swing high. But it also worked out. I got the blue box, and I got the selling coming in afterward and everything. And you'd have been in on this one here around 104.76. So, and this one worked down. I know there was over 70. I forget how much. I think I got almost 80 ticks out of the trades today so far. That's why I quit trading and decided to to do the video.
Buyers on the market.
Okay, I had the blue box in the upper 2/3 of it. I didn't get, this is happening right at the moment, I started to turn the video off. I didn't get a 3-tick lower low though yet, below this current range bar right here. So, and then the buyers are still coming in there, and we've, and it's kind of disqualifying itself. I do see that I'm going to get a, oops, nope. There we go. Now I got an engulfing candle long up here. And we are at the high of day. So I'm going to pause and see if we can get a trade here. Alright. I'm still watching it. I got the blue box, like I said. I didn't get the 3-tick lower low. I've got 2 ticks now. But they stuck around too long. The buyers, you know, sellers are winning out at the moment. And we're at the high of day. But it's not in the candlestick formation here ain't very good. And I also got a 13 and a 21 range over here that I'm looking at, and we are both overbought and are pointing down on them on the stochastic indicators. This indicator down here. So I got the stochastic indicators lined up in the right direction and everything, but I'm not getting a good enough high probability signal to, you know, get my money back that I made so far today. I mean, it may work out, but it's just not near as good as those ones I'd explained before. We just got too much. Let's pause and see what happens. Okay, now you can see how that kept you out of a losing trade, because my stop would have been 1, 2, 3 ticks right here, and I would have been stopped out. Most likely it was even a tick slippage on that. So I'd have been, well, if I'd have been in, I'd have been in at 14 and out at 28. So watch it going up here and see. But I tell you, we got it's overbought on a couple time frames, but my 34 range, I'll bring it into view here. I'm looking at, I had a series of lower lows, and when we buying those lows down there, and then the Virgin long here, I had a lower low in price, several lower lows in price, and a higher high in momentum. And I see the only buying coming in on the 34 range right now. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. And the 21 range, I'll bring it over. And I might have a here. I'm going to have to watch what I'm doing. Overbought, pointed down. I don't like this for a sell, but because I believe overall we're going to move on up. And I have no signal at all right now to sell this. And we'll pause it.
Where's on the market?
All right, got an update on the trade. I got an engulfing candle short. And let's see here. Raise that there up a little bit. And I never got no clean signal up here to sell it. So it's more than likely going to come back up and retest this high day. I could be wrong, but we had a nice strong, if you look at this uptrend, that is a nice strong uptrend. Now this magenta line, pink line, and violet line, or pink was, or anyway, this line right here at 104.98, that is the volume, high volume area that has, oh, let me look and see over here. Let me see. Oh yeah, that is the high volume area for the day's movement. I'll bring that over here. This is where everybody found value. So that's why it's on there. It's moved a little bit since I marked it this morning. It's moved down. So I'll move it down a little bit. Alright, we'll pause again. Okay.
Order. Sellers on the market.
I walked away
Order
for just
filled.
a second, and it moved on me. Alright, let's get the stop fixed, and I'll explain what I did. First to stop, the high is 42, 3, 4, 5. Well, I got a pretty wide because I walked away. It cost me. And where I placed my stop. Alright. It moved up. It made a double. It tested the high. I want to see some stops hit when it tests that. Well, as soon as it went 1, 2 ticks above, it hit the stops. 111 aggressive buy orders went through the market right there. So those were stops that were placed above the market for these sales for the most part. Now there could have been a few getting in long, but they're about to get stopped out right down here, and this is going to accelerate the move down. We had the blue box. We had one right here, and we had another one right here. So a good signal to go short. We're testing the high day, a double test of it, So we'll see here how this works. Now I'll tell you in one circumstance yesterday, if you didn't know it was trending down yesterday and you tried to buy into that trend on when it was hitting the low a day, it would have eat you up. So you got to know the overall environment of the market before taking these trades. Like I said, there's more to it than what I'm going into here. So we'll pause and see how this works out. Okay, update. It moved back against me, but it gave me another signal to stay short, or to get short again for that matter. And we're moving back down here to where we're retesting this 105.17 level. And I'm watching this number right here, the delta, 199, 176, 166. I see buyers coming back into the market right there. So it's tested it once, twice now. And right up against where my entry is now on the situation. I'm gonna hang in there on the trade, but if you wanted to, you could get out right there on that because of that test. And
sellers on the market.
All the red, and that sellers on the markets for my ES contracts, not that you hear in the background, not the crude oil. It's another indicator device I have from Juan made for me. It tells me if it's crude oil, if there's over 100 contracts traded short or long aggressively, it'll warn me with a voice and a visual too on an aid I have. So we're watching that. The sellers are coming back in again here now, and I'll be watching this delta here to see and how much red we got. There was a lot of sellers in there, and we're back down in those sellers again, and we're testing it again. Now I've got a blue box right here forming, and it's moving down. All right, now we got it. Now I have my profit target down here near the 13 EMA on the 21 range, and I'll look for a signal to go long, which means I'll get out down here. We'll pause again. Alright, I got a long wick formed on this test of 105.17 here. You could go ahead and move your stop up to break even on this if you wanted. I'm watching the sellers to see if they keep coming in. I did get a blue box right below the swing low of the previous test. So that could have been stop outs right there, and buyers come back in and take control, but buyers ain't been very effective so far, so I'm going to hang in there on it. Okay, it's now moved down to the 13 EMA from the 21 range chart, this green line here. I'm watching very closely now to see if it's going to reverse here. And as soon as I see that the buyers have come back in, I'd like to see a blue box in red with a blue outline on it down here though before that occurs. So I'm watching that really closely. I do see that we had some strong selling in the stick before, and the next stick here we had 297 in that, and we only got this stick hasn't been made yet, but I do see buying coming back into that stick right there, and it is at a point where it could reverse. It's notorious for reversing off this line. That's why it's on there.
Buyers on the market,
and the buyers are on the ES, so I'm not concerned. Okay, I think it will probably move lower, but I will just pull the plug here at try to get 20 ticks out of it if it'll give it to me. Sometimes this gets you in trouble.
target filled.
There. Alright, I'm going to finish the video up before it gets very long. That's mainly one of the reasons I got out too, but that 13 EMA
created, and
that's also on the ES set there. So we'll end the video there and trade well, and that is an alarm going off from my Bloomberg Consumer Confidence at 9:45. So well, trade well out there.